Hi everybody, this is Mike. The eruption on the Lower East Rift continues. Lava fountains at Fissure 8 continue to feed channelized lava flows that travel about 13 miles to the ocean at Capolho. The lava delta at Capolho is about 320 acres in size at this time. There continue to be some small overflows from the channel along the course of those 13 kilometers, but those overflows pose no threat to nearby communities at this time. There continues to be some minor activity as well at fissures 16 and 18, but the flows from those fissures are staying within the existing footprint of the flow field and also pose no threat. At the summit of the volcano, there has been no explosion in the past 24 hours, but there remains, based on past behavior, there remains a possibility for another small explosion in the short term. That's it for the update. I'm going to pass it back to Leslie now. Yeah.
Hi, so I'm filling in for Jessica Farrakane for today. So we are on day 36 of park closure. The biggest thing I have is that we'll be accommodating our artist in residence for June, Nicholas Collier. He's a Marine Corps veteran, the park's first ever U.S. veteran artist in residence. He'll be at our Kahuku unit on Friday, June 22nd at 10 a.m. We did send out a news release yesterday, but if anyone has not received it and would like a copy, please just let me know and I'll forward that to you. And that's all I have right now.
Okay, good morning or aloha, wherever your time zone is. Thanks for the opportunity. Weather-wise, we're looking at not much change what we've seen over the last day or so. The relatively light trade wind flow coming in from the east, and when that light flow interacts with the terrain of the Big Island near the ground, we get the sort of light and variable winds, maybe even an opposite flowing wind that flows from west to east, right near the ground. But overall, where the lava is entering the ocean, those clouds are heading essentially towards the west and southwest. And it was contributing to a good portion of cloud cover over the eastern third of the Big Island this morning. It looked like a good amount of the cloud cover we were seeing was due to the clouds that are being generated by the lava ocean entry. And we've got reports of some pretty good rainfall in the Pahoa area, having some impacts at the shelters apparently, where some evacuees have needed pallets to get their stuff up out of the puddles that are forming. And a lot of that rain is actually being generated by the cloud produced by the lava ocean entry. So we don't see a lot of change to that here in the short term. The light trade winds, for the most part, will be taking that plume from the lava ocean entry and also from the Fissure 8, generally towards the west, potentially at times moving towards the southwest. And then with the trade winds in effect, we sort of get this reverse flow on the west side of the Big Island, where we get these eddies that develop. And those eddies have been contributing to the overall fogginess that's been reported on the leeward side or the west side of the Big Island over the course of the past 40 days or whatever it is, the increased fogginess. This morning we got reports that's a little bit thicker on the South Kona versus Waikoloa area, and that makes sense based on what we're seeing on satellite. There was an eddy to the west of the Big Island that was sort of focusing the fog into the southern half of the island. And little change to that overall picture is expected over the next 24 hours or so. There's a chance that early next week the winds get even lighter, but the uncertainty is pretty high with that. And so I'll leave it at that and leave it open to any questions.
How fast is that lava flow moving from the fissure?
It kind of varies along the course of the channel. We've measured it as fast as about 7 meters per second close to the vent, but closer down to Kapoho, we've measured as slow as 1 meter per second, and it probably is moving even slower as it approaches the ocean entry, but we can't exactly get eyes on it right as it's entering the ocean, except from the helicopter, but it's of course difficult to judge velocities while moving in the helicopter.
I guess a conversion, 7 meters per second, roughly 15 miles per hour?
That's accurate.
Hi, I just wanted to, can someone explain again in detail the cloud that's creating all the rain from the ocean entry?
Sure, I guess that's posed generally towards me here, Tom Burchard of the National Weather Service. Essentially, you have very hot lava hitting relatively cool water, and you're getting updrafts that are moist updrafts, essentially forming a cloud that's heading towards the west and southwest, and that cloud is actually getting up to 8 to 10,000 feet, and as it's doing so, it's actually producing rainfall. And so when that plume moves over the same area continuously, it's not like it's producing heavy rain, but when it's moving over the same area continuously, it's producing relatively long periods of light to moderate rain. I've heard it referenced as pyrocumulus. So that's essentially what we have here. Is just you have extreme heating at the bottom, which makes for an unstable, what we call an unstable profile. So you have pretty good rising motions, and as those clouds get up to about 8,000 to 10,000 feet, they sort of level off. But that's tall enough to produce rainfall, and it's sort of that rainfall has been generally affecting the area between Kapoho and Pahoa with the trade wind flow. If the winds were to switch more significantly, then that cloud would move towards different areas. But for the most part, we expect it to continue to move generally towards the west and sort of occasionally soak areas from Pahoa and surrounding areas surrounding Pahoa. I'm not sure if that adequately answers your question. I can entertain follow-ups if you'd like.
I think that's good. Thank you.